Welcome to Viva La Vulva, the podcast that explores and teaches about the goodness of the vulva. Here is your host, Dr. Cara Quant, an internal medicine doctor and advocate for female sexual health.
Hello, and welcome to the Viva La Vulva podcast. I am your host, Dr. Cara Quant. There's people who come in all the time, and I have to educate and re-educate about some myths that they have heard. So I want to come on and dispel some of these myths for you all because I feel like it is really important. So this next thing I want to talk about is the power of self-talk. It's absolutely powerful, absolutely vital for our way of being. I want to bring a study to the forefront that was out of the Nature Neuroscience Journal that came out in 2025. And it was about how the brain influences the immune system. And I feel like this is a perfect journal article to talk about, especially with this discussion of being in the wintertime, things that can make you sick or people that can make you sick rather than cold air making you sick. So I feel like this is a perfect journal to tie in. It talks about how the brain influences the immune system. You think it's a departure from talking about food and inflammation, but it's actually all deeply connected. Your thoughts really do create physiological responses in your body. And so self-talk isn't just a mental health issue, it's also a physical health issue. There's so many people that come into my practice and say, oh, I'm just like so anxious about, whatever this is going on, or this lump that's in my breast, or this like headache that I've been feeling. Like this is like the worst case scenario. This is cancer. This is a brain tumor. Oftentimes that is not the case, but because there's so much self-talk, it can really affect the outcome of your body. But I want to bring it back to this journal article that I read in the Nature of Neuroscience. And it was about how the brain influences the immune system. Normally, when an infectious agent or a pathogen comes into our body, our immune system sees this as foreign and starts attacking it. If we've been vaccinated, which I completely believe in, then our immune system can more quickly and efficiently attack the pathogen. Now, the assumption that we have had as doctors and scientists for years is that the immune system starts fighting the infection once it sees it in the body. But this study actually showed that that is not the case. And it asked what would happen if your brain thought you were about to become infected, although no microbe had yet entered your body. So they took a sample of 250 healthy volunteers and gave them virtual reality headset. And within the headset, they showed sick people coming towards them, as well as healthy appearing people coming towards them. So the sick people had runny nose, coughing, sneezing, things like that, had like really bad rashes on their body. And then the healthy people looked healthy. They used MRIs as well as blood tests to help with determining a person's immune response. And a characteristic pattern of activity began in front of their brain, followed by the release of chemicals into the blood to alert the immune system, followed by the activation of the immune system. Essentially what we see in a vaccine or an actual infection. So before it even got started, before the infection or the pathogen was even in our body, our brains told the immune system, hey, this is what's happening. Fight, bring out the white blood cells or bring out the other things that can fight this infection. It's to say that our brains are so beautifully created and can really strengthen the immune system. And I feel like this happens all the time in my world. I'm a doctor. I'm a doctor in an urgent care, and I feel like I see sick people all the time. People are coughing and sneezing and all of the things. And so generally I have my mask on, especially since after COVID. But even if I don't have a mask on, I feel like my brain is telling my body to be aware that there is a pathogen that might be coming into my body, the rhinovirus or coronavirus or what have you. And luckily, knock on wood, I have stayed pretty healthy through my time as a doctor. And I feel like this has been in play in my body. And I didn't know it until now, until this research. So I feel like it's really cool. It essentially just shows that like the way that we talk or the things that we see and what we say in our brains really can affect our bodies. Our bodies and our brains are deeply connected. They're not one mutually exclusive. Things that I see on a regular basis and common negative self-talk patterns. I feel this catastrophizing is a big one. So I feel this weird twinge. Something must be seriously wrong. People come in all the time talking about, I read this on Google and, it's the worst case scenario. I have cancer. Or more recently, ChatGPT has been explaining different things and becoming people's doctors as well. But this catastrophizing does create anxiety, which creates physical tension and stress hormones, things like cortisol, to be released. There is an all or nothing thinking, which I often or sometimes subscribe to. And like I said, I'm talking about it with my therapist, but life is not all or nothing. I ate dessert, my diet is ruined, I might as well just give up. Like, that's not necessarily the case. Again, we're not perfect beings, even though I think we many times strive for perfection, but we're not perfect. Even if you ate that piece of cake or, you ate those fries or whatever, fried food, you can still get back on it. It's not an all or nothing thing. Also, body negativity, which is a negative self-talk, a constant criticism of your appearance or your function. Well, I am not immune to it. I also feel like there's some times, especially living in the Los Angeles area, that we're into our looks. So body criticism is something that I have been fighting for years. And so it can be particularly relevant when it comes to sexual health. Like, it can impact our ability for desire and arousal and even satisfaction if we're like constantly hard on the way that we look and appear. I see patients who are so anxious when they come in, and their body language is definitely telling me that they're anxious. They're folding their hands, they're, rubbing their face, they're doing all of these things that just make them appear very anxious, and it can affect you. The nocebo effect is a real thing. If you believe something will harm you, you're more likely to experience negative effects. I want to have you incorporate self-compassion, talking to yourself like you talk to a friend. I'm doing my best rather than I'm failing at everything. So, thanks for joining me today on the Viva La Vulva podcast. I am your host and internal medicine physician, Dr. Cara Quant. If you like this podcast, please let others know and subscribe. Also, if you want to hear more information about what's happening with Viva La Vulva, hop over to our website at vivalavulvala.org and sign up for our newsletter.